Warning, this video contains team selection and captain choices which some viewers may find offensive.
Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. Before starting today's video, a huge congratulations goes to Marlon Moore for becoming the first ever winner of the FPL TV Cup. With a whopping 294 points in August, Marlon has landed himself a 1-year subscription to Fantasy Football Hub, a copy of the excellent Wasting Your Wildcard, a limited edition FPL TV t-shirt and mug, as well as the personally engraved FPL TV trophy. The league code for the September Cup has now been posted over on Patreon, so if you'd like to get your hands on the trophy while supporting the FPL TV channel, then head on over to patreon.com/FPLTV and sign up before Game Week 5 begins. Good luck to those that enter, and let's now move on to the video. Following a nice break during the internationals, let's now see how my team performed in Game Week 4, before then moving on to my plans for the upcoming Game Week 5. We're now 4 game weeks into the season, and unfortunately it's a 4th game week in a row where things just haven't gone right for my team. My captain choice of Raheem Sterling at home to Brighton blanked, making it 3 captaincy blanks on the bounce for my side, with Salah, Kane and now Sterling all letting me down once given the armband. The real gut-wrencher of the game week though was having spent an extra million on Laporte over Zinchenko, only for him to get booked and injured after 36 minutes, missing out on a banker clean sheet, returning 0 points, and now leaving me without any Man City defensive cover. Truly rotten luck, and it really sums up my start to the season. There were some small positives though, with Kevin De Bruyne continuing his exceptional start, and Sadio Mane slightly outscoring Mo Salah against Burnley. The creative Luca Digne also made a promising start to life in my squad, with him delivering an assist at home to Wolves. So in total, another underwhelming score of 49 last week, a sizable 8 points below the average, and therefore a hefty red arrow down to 2.8 million. There's no getting away from it, the opening 4 game weeks have been painful yet humbling and a good learning experience for next season. It's been a start with some rotten luck, but also some very questionable decisions, and for the most part, definitely a case of overthinking things and losing faith in my initial squad far too quickly. Ultimately though, the main downfall has simply been a lack of points from my captain each week. So even though I'm not happy with my current squad, having a good or bad game week really is a fine line between picking the right captain. So, if you're like me and also find yourself in a bad position, just remember that a few good captaincy returns can really transform your season. Fortunately, there's still plenty of time to go, so let's hope for a bit more fortune when it comes to handing out the armband. After a much needed break to reflect, let's now move on to Game Week 5 and look at my potential plans for the upcoming weekend. Also, if you enjoy the content here at FPL TV, be sure to drop a like on the video and most importantly get subscribed to the channel. Due to the unfortunate injury to Laporte, that's already made one decision for me this week. With his injury being long term, he has to go, and by selling him I currently have 6.6 million to spend on a replacement. Admittedly, it was a big mistake getting rid of both my Liverpool defenders on the wildcard, and with them facing Newcastle at home in Game Week 5, I'm certainly keen to get one of them back. My ideal choice would be Trent Alexander-Arnold, but unfortunately, if I want to make just one free transfer, then I can only afford Van Dijk. So that could be the straightforward switch I make this game week. The other move I'm considering though is to instead release a lot more funds into my squad by selling Harry Kane. Granted, it's always a big risk selling such a big hitter, and Tottenham's fixtures do look very favourable. However, there seems to be plenty of other cheaper forwards that are providing much better value, such as Haller, Barnes, Firmino, Vardy and Callum Wilson. So if I do sell Kane for a cheaper forward, this would also allow me to get Alexander-Arnold back into the squad for a -4, a player I do prefer over Van Dijk in the long term. Another player I'm keen to ship out sooner rather than later is United's Wan-Bissaka, and I'm annoyed at myself for even buying him in the first place. Not only is he listed as a slight injury concern for Game Week 5, but I simply can't see United getting many clean sheets in the next few games. Therefore, he's definitely a player at risk of leaving my squad too. So here's a quick preview of how my team could line up for Game Week 5 with these decisions in mind. It's either holding Kane and bringing in Van Dijk, or opting for Trent and dropping Kane down to someone like Callum Wilson. However, nothing is yet confirmed, and I'll be thinking about this over the next few days. So if you want to see the final lineup, be sure to check the FPL TV Twitter page shortly before the game week deadline. It'll likely be a 4-4-2 this week, with Lundstram coming back into the squad from the bench with a nice home fixture against Southampton. Norwich's Cantwell is currently the player who makes way for him, with the Canaries facing a very difficult task against Man City. Although, with Laporte out injured, and with Norwich being at home, there is scope to play Cantwell instead of Wan-Bissaka this game week. But with me already fielding Pukki, perhaps it's overkill to have 2 Norwich players facing Man City. As for the captaincy, there's a few strong candidates in my squad. With Norwich defending pretty woefully this season though, and with Newcastle more likely to try and park the bus at Anfield, it's one of the City boys that'll get the armband from me. However, I don't own Salah of course, which makes that decision a lot easier. If it wasn't for the international break, I'd 100% be giving it to Raheem Sterling. But having played both games for England, of course, that slight worry of rotation does begin to kick in. With that said, I'm going to do my best not to overthink this one and leave the armband on Sterling this game week. The Canaries have an array of defensive injuries heading into this game, so if Raheem does start, he seems like the perfect captaincy choice. Therefore, I'm not going to risk missing a potentially big haul. So that's how my team could look for Game Week 5. As mentioned, nothing is yet finalised, and the final team and transfers will get posted over on Twitter. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if so, be sure to get subscribed to FPL TV. Good luck to all of you in Game Week 5, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all very soon.